What's up, everybody? We here. We're a little late, but we here. That's on me, baby. I take it on the chin. I'm a little late to the game, like Ben Simmons yesterday, though.
Oh,
LB,
good
little
Lord.
late, little late.
Not Ben Simmons late. He was late, not to the game, to the whole series. Golly, don't be late like that.
I'm a little late. Hey, LB called me. He Doc Rivers me. He don't even believe in me no more. Hey, they asked him after last show, hey, you think K. Lou still gonna be your co-host? He said, I mean, I don't know right now. LB, what you say to that? Boy, you see your coach say that, boy, you say, oh, I'm up out of here.
Yeah, when he asked him, what he asked him, do you think you be a elite guard, or what was the exact question? Was it like?
Well, they were saying, do he think that Ben Simmons can lead them to the championship?
Oh, wow.
You know, at that role, yeah. And Doc was like, "Listen, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't. We got some work to do."
Oh.
But my argument was 2 years ago. I go 2 years ago with this team, MB. My argument 2 years ago was they got two great young talented guys that can't play together.
Right.
And that was my thing 2 seasons ago. And we're still having this conversation because Ben at his best, the ball flying up and down the court. It's just flying up and down the court at his best. At his worst, he running an offense. Embiid at his best is running an offense. So it's the toughest decision that you've never wanted to make, and Doc's gonna force their hand. Even if they get rid of Doc, he's still gonna force their hand because he's gonna make them realize that they can't have both on the team.
Yeah, well, I think everybody see that now. You know, they saw it before. So, I mean, now it's just been emphasized because Philly, it's a city of brotherly love, but they ain't got no love for you when you ain't winning. So they hold on to grudges, you know? So,
Man,
I mean, and just for him, he played 34 minutes in the fourth quarter and didn't shoot the ball at all in like three to 4 games. So that's crazy, man.
And MB, I love to say, you know, we came on clowning, of course, and saying that, you know, I'm late like Ben Simmons. You saying late to the series. Now you point out stats that speak exactly to that. But MB, he's been doing this since he got the NBA. This ain't new. This ain't new.
Well, I mean, and they know it because, I mean, this ain't new. I mean, the storyline was early in his career about him not shooting 3-pointers, right? Not having outside, and then now it translated not only that, but then it became Hacker Ben, like Hacker Shaq, and then now based on statistics, he's got the worst free throw average in NBA history, playoff history. At I think it was like 34%.
Well, and
so when you do it on that type of stage, where now Philly, I mean, especially with all the dynamics of, you know, man, they had a great chance of possibly winning off, being the number 1 seed, you know. And
absolutely.
And you lose against the Atlanta Hawks,
right?
I mean, and I know, I mean, you losing and Joel Embiid, he played, because I know speculation that they could lose if Joel don't play, but Joel played, you know,
right.
And you still lose. So it's like you don't have an excuse. And then basically what happens is it's either him or Doc or the fall guys, you know, like who to blame, you know? And,
MB.
So now it's being magnified because on the stage that is in. This ain't LSU one season. This ain't Pop Warner. This ain't, you know, early in the year. I mean, this is playoff time, and you got an opportunity to win a championship, so it's unforgiving.
Well, look here, man. Joel say his knee was hurt. It was a little sore, LB. but they got him to put it on tape, baby. He's out of here. LB, they don't put that caption at the bottom, do they?
No, they don't put no
sprain knee.
No, they don't. But shoot, Joel, I mean, even though he's a little tired, exhausted, but still he played. He did enough to win. I mean, shoot,
absolutely. And then I'm gonna tell you what really got to me, MB, and I don't know if it was this game or the last game. They're kind of running into each other, but yeah, okay, it had to be this game. The last possession that they had where they needed a 3. How does your center? You end up kicking it to your center for the 3-pointer, MB.
Well, shoot, I mean, other than him, that's the issue, man.
And that's what I'm talking about.
What I'm saying, because basically, in so many words, you only had 2 guys that, especially the last 2 games, that was putting on any points, and it was Curry and him, and those are 2. Unfortunately, those are your 2 best outside shooters as well, And so to me, I mean, when you got Joel Embiid, you need to surround him around shooters, man. Even though he can shoot, but you need to make him. He's got a 3-dimensional game. He can shoot from the outside, mid range, and underneath the basket. But you should surround him around shooters. Like I was mad when a couple years ago they got rid of Reddit.
Right.
I mean, you got to surround this dude around with shooters, especially. And then I mean. But shoot, man. So that's the thing. So it was bad when I saw it, because Toby Harris, he's trying to shoot the ball, but he didn't shoot. He didn't play well as this series as well. He had a lot of shots, but his field goal percentage was low. I mean, but they don't have shooters around, and then with Danny Green being hurt, that hurts, So
right.
So I mean, you gotta have shooters, bro. You gotta have shooters, and then you saw with Curry, you gotta shoot him, but then now he's a defense liability. I mean, that dude was taking it to him. So at one point, Doc had to take him out because they was exploring that because you couldn't move Curry on Young. You moved and had him on the other guy. The other guy was killing him. He was attacking this dude. I was like, golly. You just couldn't stop the bleeding,
Ice tray, baby.
Yeah, you could not stop the bleed. And then on top of that, right? I mean, you look at it. Ice tray, he was ice. He wasn't doing nothing for like 3.5 periods.
Right.
And they still had the lead. I was like, oh man. And then Shaq called it out at halftime. Shaq say, man, Atlanta's gonna win this game because basically, they just keeping it close. They gritty. They playing. Who said something who made a comment, and it was like he said, "Man, Philip," and this was Perkins. He always be talking noise, but he said this the other day when they blew the lead in game 6. Game 5 they blew the lead. He said double-digit lead. He's like, "Man, Philadelphia 76ers are front runners, bro." He said they are front runners. He said I saw it, so I was like, wow, he called them out. So I don't know, man.
I'm interested to know what his logic was in calling them a front runner, though. What does that mean?
Well, in the sense of he said this in the sense of he said, you see them when they got the lead, they talking, they doing all this, but then when they behind or they're struggling. You don't see that same intensity, I think he was saying something in reference to that. You don't see that same fight. You see discord. You see guys getting quiet. You don't see that same passion that they have. When they got a lead, they chirping, they talking, they trying to get in fights, they doing all that stuff. But then when they struggling or choking, man, they quiet as I guess a hooker in church or a pimp in church. I guess I don't know.
It's interesting to hear you say that. It's not enough importance anymore put on veteran or even young leadership. You know what I mean? Like in basketball anymore. That's not what you hear. It's not discussed at all about, obviously the last time you really heard it was for the Lakers last year in the bubble. That's what they talked about, that the group was close-knit. LeBron was a great leader, in that locker room and in that situation. But it's not a lot of stock put on having guys hang around for that anymore. You know what I mean? like Vince was in Atlanta, allegedly. But you know what I mean? But a real vet that's actually still contributing and can be that voice. You're not, it just seems to me you're not, you can't. I remember growing up, it seems like you could point to that guy on everybody's team. And a lot of times though, they didn't, you know, they had that guy, and the star player was usually a leader as well. But now it's like you're hunting for leadership on every team. Like who's gonna be that guy, that glue guy that brings everybody together? Who's gonna be that Draymond? I'll throw your bone, MB. Who's gonna be that Draymond Green? Who's Draymond Green on everybody's team? I say back in the day, we were always able to name Draymond, whether Draymond was a superstar or just a role guy. But in the starting lineup, it was still always a Draymond.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I think it's on a society as a whole. I mean, sports is just a reflection of society.
Wow.
And I think overall, society is a lack of quality leaders. You know, so I think overall it's and so now where you bring a good point that it was the norm. Now it's not the norm. Now it's like when somebody has those leadership qualities, it's even more highlighted. You know, like for example, you know, because on the flip side, look at the Phoenix Suns, and a lot of credit, whether right or wrong, is given to Chris Paul because of
absolutely
bringing forth the leadership. So now it's an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
So you talked about it's almost like it's not required, you know, especially from a leadership, from especially your best player standpoint, it's like hit or miss, and you see it. And I think one guy like Jimmy Butler, right, when he was with Minnesota, he was, you know, that's something that he was trying to be the leader, but it wasn't going well with the younger guys, you know.
Right.
And so they ended up shipping them out, but it went to Miami Heat where it was appreciated, you know?
Right.
So like I say, it's hit or miss, yeah, you're right. It's just, it used to be norm where you always had those guys on the team. You had a guy that, you know, for example, like the Heat, Udonis Haslem, he's only on the roster for the leadership role.
Absolutely.
And what obviously what he done for the Heat organization, I appreciate it. But you're right, that leadership quality is not high on the list. It's only select situation like Rondo Roger. You know, you get him, and you talked about the Clippers initially. You talked about him, coming to fill that role. So yeah.
That's amazing, man. Because you look even at the Final Four. The Final Four, obviously, Phoenix, you just named their leader. Clippers still don't have a leader. We can say Ice Tray is the leader, but this is a team that's definitely was a rebuilding team. You know, a team that felt like, man, if we make the playoffs, we'll be great. I say Ice Tray is the leader because everything goes through him, but I'm not seeing like a Chris Paul type leadership quality going on with him. I guess he's leading through his play. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give him credit for that. And then Milwaukee, I think that's been their issue, is the Greek Freak, you know, had to get told by every other NBA player in the league that, you know, he needs to get in the paint and live there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, you know, to think that we never see. Remember, Shaq would get in there, get in that paint. They ain't fed him 2 or 3 times down, and he like, look, bring that thing to me. Right. Like, we ain't seeing the Greek Freak do none of that. So I don't even know. I wouldn't say he's a leader too. So in my opinion, you got one definite leader out of the Final Four teams, MB. So I think, you know, it's crazy to say, but that's where we are. I just didn't put it to society like you did as well, which I definitely understand what you're saying, but I'm just looking at it from a basketball perspective. I just remember there was always that guy, or your championship teams had multiple guys in B.
yeah. I mean, well,
you know what I'm saying?
I know, like when the Lakers won the title last year. I mean, to me, that was the biggest difference. Is the leadership of LeBron and AD. You know.
Well, and you had playoff Rondo, and you had a Dwight Howard fulfilled a huge leadership role. They credited Dwight with having the team doing stuff together in the bubble.
Oh, cool.
You know what I'm saying? Playing games, hanging out, doing that kind of stuff while they were in the bubble to kind of take their mind off of, we stuck.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
So right there, you have 4 leaders.
Yeah, because and then Rondo, and then so that's the thing that was applauded, and because to me, that's the thing I felt like the Clippers lacked last year was that leadership quality in that situation. Just look at the comments that was said and whatnot, and so you look at the 2 teams that made it to the NBA final, it was they had great leadership,
right,
from a player standpoint, and to me that's when you. And not to say Atlanta with Trey or whatnot, I really don't know. I haven't followed them that much. I don't know too much about it, but you see the way they play. They handle adversity. They play hard. They play tough. And I mean, anytime consistently, 2 times in this series, they came back from 2 double-digit lead to win. So you see the grit. You see that. So for me, that was not the question if he's a leader or not, but. Oh no, you saw it like last year, man. That was a big difference, those guys. And for me, like when you have a good team, say in football, where the players run the team. I'm talking about they run the team the right way, where you can hear as a coach, you can hear yourself based on what your players are saying. Like they're sounding like you. They take ownership, and those are the thing about it. Teams that I played for at University of Miami, teams. Few teams I play for in the league, it's when the players run the team, where they own the team, where they manage the team. That's and that's where you get it, where they players, man, they hold each other accountable, where it comes from them and not you. That's where you got it, man. You got something special, you got something special. So that's the thing. I see that, and those are qualities. They're not lost.
Definitely, man. So we went dug in a little bit in this playoff picture, but we supposed to start it off with it's problems out there, baby. And track and field is back. The Olympics is back, MB. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
It was a year ago supposed to be. Coach COVID tore that all the way down. So instead of every 4 years, this the 5th year. And man, for the vets, some of them vets that tried to hang on, Justin Gatlin, ended up tweaking his ham in the semi and then almost blowed it up in the finals. And if you look at his start, MB, he had a fantastic start. I think he was going to be right there at the line. I wanted to really see him end his career the right way. So I was disappointed in that. But I'm going to start off with, not he's a problem, MB, but she's a problem. Listen, when you talking about a woman that got that football mentality, MB, you talking about Sha'Carri Richardson, baby. She about to blow this Olympics up. I'm telling you, Fraser Price from Jamaica, she gonna have to come with it. MB, this young lady right here out of LSU, turned pro a couple years ago now, broke on the scene and won NCAA's national championship in the 100 meters as a freshman with a 10.75 LB. 10.75. Okay. She just ran in the semifinals at the 100 meter, the Olympic trials on Saturday. She gave them a 10.64 just to let them know that and MB, she was screaming at the camera stop playing with me. She said a few other words, MB, I can't repeat, but she said, y'all stop playing with me, MB. When I tell you that football mentality, MB, when they call her name at the line, she started getting hyped. Yeah, come with it. You know what I'm saying? That's when you know how they announce everybody by their lane. MB, you got to watch her, baby. Hey, she get it in. I say, man, she sound like one of us out there, baby. She ready. I know y'all in trouble. And I really want to know, MB, what that do to the other young ladies out there. Like what they thinking. Golly. Because normally they like, hey, yay for me. Right. Boy, she like, bro, let's go. MB, they say it, in warm-ups, they warm up, in a warm-up area. Usually it's kind of like a field type area. MB, they say she have a whole entourage over there. Like she come in there like a rapper, baby. At her warm-up corner, getting the hype. Like the money team or so with Floyd Mayweather, baby. Come on, champ. Let's go, champ. You know what I'm saying? Like, MB. And so she brings that glare and that fun back to the track, man. And she got a little flojo in her. The nails this long, MB. Right. Then she got she tatted up. Then she was out there, MB, and I already knew what the game was. She had that orange hair. I say, oh, she on fire here today, baby. MB. And then the commentator came on and said, yes, she say she wants y'all to know y'all gonna see that fire when she ready, MB. So she ended up winning the 100-meter finals. She's going to Tokyo, and she's a favorite. Her, and Shelly Ann Price out of Jamaica. Shelly Ann, man, she ran 10:63, MB. Right. 10:63. MB, this sick right now. They are obliterating like world records. And of course, FloJo's, I don't know. I think hers was 10:49. I don't know if they're gonna get like that. But I mean, all the records before them, now they done put themselves in history. They the second and third fastest ever at 10:64, 10:63, MB. So Sha'Carri Richardson, I can't wait. She's a problem.
And one thing I can't wait. I'm gonna stay in that same vein with the track and also with the women track. Man, I'm gonna throw some love to my boy Randall Cunningham on Father's Day, man. And he coaching his daughter, Vesti Cunningham, man. She's the problem.
Wow,
man, she getting it done. Already have the top jump this season. Number one jump this season was 6 feet 7.5 inches. All right,
6'7",
6'7", right, 6'7.5". Don't forget the half. Don't forget the half inches, right?
That's crazy,
right? And then at the trial, she jumped 6'5". So, or they say 1.96 meters, getting it done, man. And Randall is actually her coach and her pastor. Don't forget the pastor part. Her coach.
Wait, MB, what? Randall used to high jump?
Huh?
He used to high jump?
Yeah, he trained. He got not only Vesti does it, and then Randall the third. He his son, he's a high jumper. He went a high jumper at USC. And so he's coaching both of those guys. Yeah. So he that was his thing. And Randall, man, he used to be a punter as well, too, Right. Yeah.
He was a freakish athlete. That's why I said that he used to high jump. I mean, it didn't he probably did everything on the track, to be honest with you.
Exactly. He did it, man. And he's doing it now through his daughter, man. He's training her.
That's her right. Awesome.
She turned pro as well at an early age. And man, it's been paying dividends. So she's now making her second Olympics right now. So man, Vesti getting it done. She's the problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that we talked about that women's 100-meter final. That men 100-meter final came through too, MB. And if you're gonna hear his story a lot as we start leading up to the Olympics, especially during the Olympics. Trayvon Bromell, you talking about a comeback. In 2015, this dude was the fastest thing on the track. Period.
Achilles, right?
Yeah, tore his Achilles. Was out of track for 2 years. So Fast Man 2015 tears his Achilles, out 2016, out 2017, 2018 couldn't even bust out of 10 flat, couldn't get under 10 flat. MB kept working, kept believing, kept trusting in the Lord, baby. That's all he is, a living testimony. That's all he'll talk to you about, MB.
To God be the glory. Yes.
Trayvon went out there and gave him 980. 980 MB.
Wow.
Fastest time in the world this year. He had the one before then too, but he obliterated that and gave him 980. So Trayvon say y'all in trouble. MB, he say y'all in trouble around here, because to God be the glory. That's what he say, MB. Listen, run it. But here's the crazy part. Jamaica done took it for 1-2 minute Olympics, baby. But Usain is gone. And listen to these next two times, MB. Running Baker was second at 985. Yeah, I just said 9801. 985 was behind him. MB, I ain't say 999. I ain't say 1001. I ain't say 1005. I ain't say none of that foolishness. MB, right. 10. I think 10 ain't started the 6th place, baby. You talk about them boys getting out and getting up out of there, MB. And then Fred Curley finished 3rd with a 986.
That's crazy.
MB. 980, 985, 986. That's 1, 2, 3. Listen, and this really finna mess you up, MB. Fred Curley dropped out of the 400. That was supposed to be what he was favored at. You know, him and Norman. I can't think of Norman's first name. I mean, Michael Norman. Yeah, those two, MB, was Michael Norman was the overwhelming favorite. He was pegged to push him in the 400. Yeah, I said 400. Wow. I ain't say this cat said, you know what? Y'all can have that 4. I'm gonna go with the 1 and the 2. And that's everybody crazy. In the world, the track world said, what? Man, he done lost his mind. What's going on with him? Like, it was a huge thing that he said he ain't even participating in the 4.
Did he give a reason why?
This cat gave y'all 986. Guess what everybody's saying now? Oh, okay, what? I guess he knew what he was talking about. Because 986, boy, you mess around, run 986, you getting on that podium. In Tokyo, you getting on the podium 986.
Did he say why he ain't doing both?
MB 986. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
It's the Olympics. Why not both?
Well, MB, it's not as easy as, you got to remember, you got to run prelims. That's what everybody forgets. So he got to do the quarter 3 times. You see what I'm saying? Then you got to do the 200 3 times. And that's if you're making the finals. And then you got to do the 100 3 times. Yeah. So that's the
first. I know it's a little awkward talking about 100 and a 400, but you like Michael Johnson, he did the 400 and 200, so it's a lot more space.
Right.
So maybe that's what it is. I'm trying to see why he didn't do both.
Well, nobody. I don't know if I'm sure I'm probably wrong, but I've never heard of that. In the Olympics, in the Olympics, that somebody do all 3.
No. I'm saying the 100 and do 2. Like, I was just curious.
Why the 1 and 2, that's all the time.
Yeah, the 1. No. I'm saying why he didn't do. Oh, you talking about because he's doing the 2 as well? 100,
correct.
200, 400. So not the trifecta.
Yeah. I'm saying I've never seen anybody do the trifecta. And I thought if anybody was built for it, I thought it was Bolt. Because
I've never seen them.
I don't know how much you follow his career, but Bolt started out as a 400 guy.
Yeah.
That was and And it was off of a fluke that he ran the 100 for his coach. And he ran such a ridiculous time. He said, you know what? Bump that 4. The coach switched him to the 1 and the 2. But he was he's 6'5", so you can kind of tell that he was probably a quarter guy. That's kind of what they look like. They 6 foot and up.
And this Fred Curley guy, I'm looking at his video. So he's running 100 and the 200.
Right, that's all he's gonna do.
Yeah,
so he scratched the 4. He said y'all can have it. And MB, I was with everybody else. Man, you crazy. That 4 and that 1 is a whole different animal. MB. 986. I say, man, run what you want to, baby.
Yeah,
you can run what you want to.
Yeah, he can run what he want to run. And then obviously he'll be on he'll be on a 4x1 relay. I wonder if they'll put him on a 4x4.
They probably will. Yep.
I don't know
because he's that fast. And here's the crazy part too. He was one of 2. Once he got going, here's the crazy part. Trayvon Bromell broke it down at the end, so his speed, because now they tell you how fast you're going now, MB. It's cool.
Yeah.
After the race, they show these this little diagram, and it shows how fast you was going and if you were picking up speed or not.
Right.
MB, this cat had just started. MB. Because he got that 400 body behind.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not only I got that get up and go, and I'm going, MB, but then I got that 400 that I'm gonna keep that thing down to the floor, MB. That my race ain't even started. Now, who didn't have a great showing was Noah Lyles, and I don't understand why Noah don't try to run the 2 and the 4. He's the one needs to go to that 4. But Noah Lyles is the 200 favorite.
Yeah.
I think now with Fred Curley running like he run, he's gonna be Noah's only challenge. But Noah also had just hit his 4th gear when it came to that, because Noah is one of the ones, MB, that's just enough to get in that curve. And when they, you know how they lean a little bit, MB, when they stand up, everybody just started fading away, and Noah just started taking off.
Exactly.
So this was fun, man. I am a huge track fan, LB. I love it. I get excited about the Olympics every year. The wife and I was watching swimming and track and field all weekend, LB.
Yeah.
So all 3 of them, Trayvon Bromell, Ronnie Baker, and Fred Curley, all y'all the problem.
Well, we got to continue that, man. I'm going to show the big boys some love, man, and a shot put, man. But, boy, he been a problem all season long. Ryan Cruiser, man, hey, he's a problem.
Yes, sir.
Indoor, he had a shot put, world record in the indoor shot put, but then now he broke the world record on a shot put outdoor, man, getting it done. 76 feet, 8 and a quarter inches. All right, crushed the record by 10 inches, man, against Randy Barnes set in the 1990, man, getting it done. Rise across, he's a problem. You know what? I think he like 6'7", man. Afterwards, after the Olympics, man, somebody may try to sign him. Football.
Right. He do look good. MB, he look good too. Body-wise, he look good.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody will try to sign him, see what he can do.
I think that was on his second throw, MB. And even more than that, when he threw it, they do the spin. So he threw it, and when he spun, he throwed his hands up, MB. He knowed it was, he didn't even spin back around and see it, MB. He throwed his hands up, say, that's it. That's it. When he turned around to look at it, it was almost out the pit, MB. And I ain't never seen that. He almost threw that thing out the pit.
He almost hit the, like you say, threw it all the way out. They couldn't even measure it, almost. And they just built that stadium. They may need to add some more to it. They just built it. It's a new stadium. They just renovated the build. So, he's the problem.
Yes, sir. So, the 400, I talked about it at length because of old boy Fred Curley. But Michael Norman, ended up beating Michael Cherry down the stretch to win the 400 meter. Michael Norman going to the Olympics as the favorite. He went ahead and did his thing, and he gonna lead us. Then Michael Cherry, you know, it was 44.7 for Norman, 44.35 for Cherry, and then Randolph Ross, it'll be the same guy I just talked about what 2 weeks ago with that A&T 4x4 team I was talking about. He back, baby. He finished third. And when I tell you he finished third and be strong, he passed up 4 dudes for third.
Nice.
So but I'm gonna tell you this. This the thing I hope. He showed a ton of inexperience, MB. And if he can get his strategy down, MB, he gonna compete with both Michael Cherry and Michael Norman for this in the Olympics. Like, I'm serious, MB, but he just seemed like he sat back way too long. Because even when he finished, he was the only one out of the crew getting faster to finish through. And at the same time, he finished the race and he was like, "Oh, I'm cool." Just walked around. It wasn't no, you know what I'm saying? He was like, "Dang, man, why I made myself work that hard?" It was that kind of thing. So, I mean, obviously, he 21, MB. He got a long career left ahead of him, but it was really cool seeing that A&T jersey flopping around, man, finishing third in the Olympic trials. He's going to Tokyo for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's a Randolph Ross, Michael Cherry, and Michael Norman. They're a problem.
Man, I'm gonna switch to baseball, man. This dude, man, especially late, man, Shohei Ohtani, man, he's a problem. All right, they call him the Japanese Babe Ruth. He's the dude that we talked about in one of our early episodes where, I mean, this joker not only is a designated hitter, right now currently lead the major leagues in home run or tied with 23, but also he's a pitcher. He's one of the guys, he's pitching and designated hitter, getting it done. But, man, these last 3 games against the Detroit Tigers, man, he had 4 hits, and all 4 hits was home runs. All right, getting it done, man. Hey, this dude, Shohei Ohtani, he's the problem.
Hey, and I'm staying right there where I told y'all I was all weekend long. The women's 400 meter final, baby. Quanera Hayes wins it with 49.78. Allison, the GOAT, Felix jumped out and finished strong to get second at 50.02 MB. And Wileen Janathis finished third. This is Allison Felix MB, not her first, not her second, not her third, not her fourth.
But bro, man, still floating. Bro, man,
her 5th Olympics, MB. You do the math, that 4x5, that's 20 years in the game.
Yeah.
And get what? 21, because she couldn't go last year because of COVID. So they bumped it. So this 21 years in the game. She turned pro at 18, right out of high school, MB, and been a monster her entire career. I mean, you look at that, and that's the Olympics every year since she started this here.
Yeah. That's a sad
She ain't missed now, MB. How do you do that?
Right.
And she done it in the 2 and the 4, both.
Right.
She done doubled a few, and pretty much all of them in the 2 and the 4. She tried to get it in the 1 a couple times, couldn't really get that through. But she's always been a relay as well. They done put her on the 1 relay, and the 400 relay, and then they're gonna have a mixed relay this year too. That's a new one, MB, where they had the women and the men run together. Wow. So that was gonna be fun, and I can see her being a part of that because it's 2 men run and then 2 women, and they do it's a 400 I think it's 2 400s and 2 200s.
So it's like a mixed medley.
Yeah, medley, absolutely, a mixed medley, and they've been practicing it in tons of not in the world, but they did it in the worlds, and then they did it in a bunch of international meets to see what it looked like, see how to do, and the U.S. done crushed it pretty much every time with people that you may not even recognize. They've been crushing it.
Wow, yeah, Alex.
So,
Phillips, I mean, she's a beast, man. She won only female Olympian wins 6 gold medals, man. Most decorated female Olympian track history, tied with Merlin Ottey, all right, with a total of 9. So she's getting it done, man. You're right.
Allison Felix, and this after a baby, MB. She's a problem. And let me tell you something too. Let me not give Miss Hayes her love. She got a baby too, MB. So after they finish, Miss Hayes got her son, and Allison Felix got her daughter, and they look like they're probably like 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah. And
they was running around, walking around with them, man. It was beautiful.
Wow.
So
awesome.
2 moms out there getting it done, MB. And usually, you know, track and field stars, especially women, wait to after their career to have kids, but you got those 2. You actually got Shelly Ann Frazier too. Let me throw her name out there from Jamaica. She got a child as well, MB. But our 400 meters, they're a problem. We back, baby. We back.
Yeah, no doubt. They getting it done. Shoot, all our sprinters, baby.
Yes, sir.
100, 200s, 400s. Shoot, men and women.
Yes, sir. So man, look here, NBA. Man, NBA's been what time it is. Playoffs. I see right here, Devin Booker's first exposure to playoff basketball continues to be what you say, NBA, a revelation.
What I say?
Devin Booker's first exposure to playoff basketball continues to be a revelation.
Revelation, baby. Hey, he's a problem. He's a problem for those Clips, man. Had his first triple-double, man. Had Chris Paul was out. He's like, don't worry about it. I got you covered. 40 points, 13 rebounds, 11 dimes, man. First career triple-double, all right, and then doing it in the playoff, man, getting it done. This Joker, man, he's a problem. This Joker's a pure shooter. I mean, we're talking about 3-dimensional scorer, man. He was shooting. Obviously, man, his touch from the outside is potent, but then he massaged in. I guess he was like, this for you, Chris Paul. His mid-range game, this game was crazy. He was killing them at the elbow, man, with that mid-range jump shot, getting it done. And then anytime he penetrate and they was collapsing on him, man, he was finding the open dude, man. The center, Ayton, he was chasing backside, just slamming that thing in. He was, man, this Joker, man, Devin Booker, he's a problem, and he made those Suns a problem for the Clips, bro. It was a really good game, but, man, that Joker, they're nice, man. He's real nice. And that's the thing about this playoff. A lot of those young guys been stepping up this playoff, you know?
Absolutely.
A lot of guys that we knew was talented, but because of the market they're in, didn't really get a lot of exposure, you know, not a traditional brand name.
Right.
But those guys, man, from Luka, obviously, to Mitchell, to Trey, to this guy, I mean, they're definitely taking advantage of the opportunity, man, and they getting it done, man, you know?
Right. And when you look at basketball right now, you got to say basketball purists are really enjoying what they seeing right now, MB. When you see the Suns and the Clippers and the Bucks and the Hawks, you got, obviously a team game going on with all groups, MB. You got you don't see the ball sticking. You don't have the guys who are, you know, let me be real with you, MB. I think we did a show a while ago, and I threw out there one time that you can't win NBA championships with our superstars. And I counted in the modern era, it was only like 3 teams that did it. You know, off the top of my head, I remember Detroit and Dallas. Okay. I think Detroit did it twice, and I think Dallas did it once. So that's the three that I could remember, and I went through the list. Everybody else has superstars, and that's how NBA generally works. It works because your superstar wins championships for you. But this crew right here, MB, there's not a ton of superstars, especially not ones that people are claiming. Because people claim Chris Paul is one. I guess they'll anoint Devin Booker as one after if he should win. You know, you look at the Bucks. Giannis is one, but nobody else, not Chris Middleton. And then you see the Clippers. Definitely people ain't saying playoff P. Ain't a superstar, but definitely they say Kawhi's one. And what did I tell you, LB? I believe they're a better team without Kawhi. and my prediction was if Kawhi play, they lose. If Kawhi don't play, they win. What happened? He didn't play, and they won. Now they got to really figure out what they're going to do with Devin Booker. Problem is, Chris Paul comes back now, he frees him up. So that's a whole nother topic. But just looking at this, basketball purists, MB, have to be excited about not seeing superstars dominate the NBA like we're used to seeing.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand your standpoint. Like I said in one of our shows, I think for me, I mean, just with the Miami Heat, when they assembled that team with LeBron and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, and then they lost against Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
And it was like, man, wait a minute, we got three superstars, you only got one, you know, and so that kind of taught me the lesson earlier that it's not how many superstars you may have collecting on a team. It's just, I mean, how well are you playing together, you know?
Well, I argue that because that usually don't end up with those results. I'll say you're right for that series, but if you go back and just because I did it, MB, and you look at the teams, it never matched up like that. If a Dallas showed up, they got killed. They got ran like with us when we showed up with Philadelphia when the Lakers played Allen Iverson. We ran him up out of the gym. Wasn't enough. He didn't have enough superstar power. And that's what usually happened to Bulls. You can match the Bulls up against anybody during that time, and nobody talks about it. But they had more power on the court. Yeah, Michael Jordan was cheating because that's 3 to your 1. But still, at the end of the day, they still had more superstar power. It just happens like that. And that's generally how the NBA works. That's why I only pick the NBA playoffs like that. If you look at my picks, that's how I pick them.
You know what? Well, let's bring Coach Lays on right quick so I know he can go. Coach Lays, what's up, baby?
Hey man, how you guys doing?
Good,
hey man, this a child show.
What you got going on, man? You got your shirt on? What's happening?
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Hey, it's a kid-friendly show.
Yeah, man. What you doing P90 over there, man? You doing how it works out? What's going on, man?
It's hot here, man. It's hot.
You hot, man? It's getting hot.
He over there playing Nelly. It's getting hot in here.
What's up, Coach? How you doing, baby?
Good. How you guys doing, man?
Good, man. Appreciate you coming on, man. You've been doing okay?
Doing really well, and I'm excited about today's show because I think I'm going to talk about baseball, which of course I'm going to talk a lot about. But I want to see your point and view on recruiting in football. I guess they'll say 3-star or 4-star athlete, okay, where they feel that they don't know what position he's going to play. And I want to talk about that. And at the same time, on ESPN, Carl Ravitch and Baseball Tonight, man, they had a really good discussion the other night about, do you draft that 17 or 18-year-old kid that shows you 95, 96, or do you draft that kid that knows how to pitch, but he only throws 91, 92, 93, but knows how to pitch? And they had a really, really good discussion, like I said, in Baseball Tonight about that, and they went a long way with that. So before the show today, I was thinking, you know, I want to know what these guys think about recruiting a 4-star or 3-star athlete, and then go from there on the show. So when football says athlete and they don't put cornerback or linebacker or anything like that, what does that mean? Does that mean that this guy runs a 4.4 40 and he's this and that? Explain that to me before I start talking a little bit about the discussion the other day in Baseball Night.
Well, it can mean a couple of things, right? So let's take two definitions of it, right? It can mean like, okay, this guy's so skilled, right, that he's able to play multiple positions for you very well, right? So he's able to play, you know, receiver, corner, or receiver, safety, or linebacker, running back, and he's elite at both, right? So it's just based on what your need is, right? Then that's what you'll put him at. So, for example, DJ Williams, right? He was number one linebacker in the number one player in the nation out of California, came to Miami, and ended up playing fullback his first year.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so he played a position of need per se, right? And then eventually end up playing linebacker. But sometimes a kid could be so gifted at multiple positions, you don't know where to put him at. The other thing is, like you saying, the other definition, based on my experience, is another kid can be like super athletic that he still needs to develop, and you don't quite know where to put him at. You know, that he needs, like how you describing that pitcher that he's got the arm talent throwing 96 miles per hour, but yet he still don't know how to pitch. You know, so this guy, this high school guy could be because his talent is so elite than the other high school kids that he's still undeveloped at a certain position. And then you need to try to figure out what's his best position to play. So you just kind of put athlete on the table, or you say he's an athlete, because not till you get your hands on him, then until you can figure out, okay, what's his best position for your scheme or your system, you know?
Okay.
And then the third thing is a guy may want to know exactly what they need to play, but a coach may be like, oh, well, he's just an athlete for us, and they may say that, but they know it back in their mind, oh, this joker offensive lineman, but they want to ease him into that offensive line position because he's still got desires of being a tight end, you know?
Got you.
So they'll just label him as a say for like, well, this didn't happen with Warren Sapp, but Warren Sapp, he came to Miami, he was a tight end.
Wow. And went to the Florida-Georgia game, was all-state tight end.
Yeah, and he was a great tight end, could catch.
Yeah.
But what happened, he gained so much weight that he eventually ate himself out of the position and ended up playing D-line, you know, so he could play multiple positions for you. But if he'd have kept his weight down, he could have been a good tight end, you know?
Wow.
So it all depends.
How about that?
That's my definition.
And Coach Laser, let me jump in there for your second question. You said if you got a chance to recruit, you know, a guy with a big arm or the guy that know what he's doing. I'm going to tell you who y'all go recruit every time, because the football get it wrong every year. They go with the big arm because they think they can teach what to do. They always go with the big arm. So I'm going to tell you, y'all going to go with the big arm too. I'm going to just throw that out there.
Well, here was and you made a good point there. Both of you made a great point, which was my question, because nowadays, and we talked about this 2 weeks ago, nowadays, everybody's recruiting the great arm. The discussion was with Major League Baseball, the first thing they do with that big arm, that 95, 96 arm, is try to teach them how to pitch. Okay? And trying to teach a pitcher how to pitch, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
Because you could be throwing 95, 96 miles an hour, but if you don't have feel out of your extension and out of your release point, I don't care how hard you throw, you're going to be walking people. You're going to be behind the count. Okay. And you're going to have to groove that 95, 96 miles an hour down the middle. And you're going to get hit, because even 101, 100 miles an hour get hit nowadays. So my discussion there is, I'm going to take it back a little bit. When I was coaching at the University of Miami, I've been a part of 3 national championships and 13 college World Series.
Wow.
Okay? And I always did it with pitchers that knew how to pitch. As a matter of fact, the winningest pitcher in University of Miami history, J.D. Arteaga, won 43 games, plus won 5 games in the College World Series, and he only threw 83 to 85 miles an hour, but he knew how to pitch. Okay? He knew how to pitch backwards. Okay, what is pitching backwards? For example, if you're 2 balls and no strike, a hitter, what is he looking for? A fastball. Well, he would throw a changeup. He would throw a curveball 2-0. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He would throw a slider. So he knew how to pitch backwards because he had a good feel of his pitching. Okay. When he played pro ball, okay, still throwing 84, 85 miles an hour, he made it all the way up to AAA because they didn't have to waste their time in teaching him how to pitch.
Wow.
Okay. So the argument is, or was, and I still have this argument. As a matter of fact, I still have the argument with JD, which he's now the pitching coach at the University of Miami, is why go after those guys that are throwing so hard 94, 95 as freshmen in college or high school seniors, where you don't have the luxury like professional baseball has. Professional baseball is 162 games a year.
Right.
So you have the luxury to take your time
work
and
through it.
teach this kid how to pitch. When you're in college, you only play 56 games. You don't have time to be able to teach a kid how to pitch. Okay, here's my other example. And I hope I don't know if you guys are understanding me what I'm saying. But in the College World Series yesterday, Vanderbilt against Arizona. Okay, here's Vanderbilt, one of the top programs in the nation, top 5 programs in the nation. The kid that was starting for them and starting for Arizona was throwing 91 to 93, touched 94 a couple times, but they knew how to pitch. They knew how to pitch. So like those kids, when they get drafted, might be the 2nd round, might be the 3rd round, they're going to be so ahead of the curve, okay, with these other kids that come from Santo Domingo, Venezuela, kids from the United States are throwing 95, 96 miles an hour, but they got to put them in low A ball or rookie ball to teach them how to pitch.
Right.
Okay. So who do you draft? Do you draft a hard thrower because that's what's new nowadays? Or do you guys draft the guy that knows how to pitch? If you look into Major League Baseball nowadays, sure, you got the guys like Scherzer, 97, 99. You got so many guys that are throwing Bauer. All these guys are throwing so hard, 95 to 97, 98, and they win 15, 18 games a year. But how many of those do you have in a staff? You don't have many. At least I don't think you have many. The other guys that are coming in the middle relievers, the setup relievers, you know, these guys are throwing 90 to 93 miles an hour, but they could throw this any pitch at any count. They could throw the breaking ball 3-2, where these guys that are throwing 97, 98, 3-2 pitch, they got to come with a fastball. Okay? So, again, the argument is, who do you get? I would get the guy that knows how to pitch, because at the end of the day, you know, it's just like getting the guy that runs a 6'3", 60. Oh my goodness, in the stopwatch, the scouts are going crazy. Man, this guy runs a 6'3", 60, has a plus arm in the outfield, for example. Well, what about if the guy can't hit and can't get to first base? That 6'3", 60 is out the door. Okay? So, you know, there's a saying in scouts is CHP. CHP. Can he play?
Wow. Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
And that's something that they have now in their cards, their scouts, because organizations want to know, can he play? Don't tell me about the 6.360. Don't tell me about the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Can he play? Can he come to our organization and win games with his speed and win games with his velocity as a pitcher? And more, the last couple of years, yes, they're still drafting the 95, 97, 100-mile-an-hour. They're still drafting that 6'2", 6'3" runner.
Right.
But they're making sure now when they draft these guys that these guys are going to go up in the organization because they can play.
Right. Right. No, that's well said. I agree with that.
You know? And that's the reason that early in the conversation I said, what does an athlete mean in football? Okay, can that athlete, I know you said he could play multiple positions. He's pretty good at all the positions he plays, but can he play one position great?
Right. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I understand you because I gave you different levels. I talked about one that could play, that's good at multiple positions. They may live an athlete, but you got the one that's just got more talent, but really haven't got the skills. They haven't shown the skills for that position yet, Right. So like you said, K. Lou said, and right on, a lot of coaches feel like, man, I'll take the talent, I can coach them out of it. I could help develop them.
Right.
It's that risk versus reward,
Yes.
They, especially at quarterback position, you take a big arm, over Tom Brady. He went 5th round for a reason,
Yep.
So those are things it made me think, like, because I would always look at that, and you're right, can he play? Can this guy play? Because a lot of times we get hypnotized by the combine numbers, or their athletic numbers, but you got to take it back to the film. Can he play?
I agree.
Is he a football player? Can he play? And so I talked about the hurricane DNA. When you look at guys that maybe didn't fit the standard numbers, man, but they just had the instincts, they had the mental toughness, they had the game speed, not the watch clock speed, but the game speed. They played fast, they had the COBMB, commit on being the best, they had those things, man, and you just like, man, that's what separates them. You look at it, right? You look at it like when you consider who's the best at every position in NFL, it's not necessarily the best athlete. Jerry Rice, he what, 4'6", but he's considered the best receiver just because his skill set, just because his mental toughness, just because the intangibles he brought to the game.
Right.
Even a running back, right? It's not the dude. You got Emmitt Smith, who's the leading rusher. You got Walter Payton. You got, Jim Brown, obviously. But, I mean, it's not necessarily.
None of those guys were elite,
right.
in combine numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
That you just named.
Right. So you look at it and you're like, wow, that's and then talk about quarterback. We're having debate now. Tom Brady, Joe Montana, whoever you consider, none of those guys
not elite.
Yeah. But they got the skill set, they got the mental toughness, they got the football smarts, that separate them. So when you go through every position, and you consider who's the best, it's rare that it's the guy, the most talented guy.
Right.
It's usually the guy with the better skill, what you talking about, knows how to play the game and got the football smart or got the smarts to do it and got the instincts and the commitment.
Hey, Coach Laser, I think bottom line, we both agree with you. But what I was saying is what everybody gonna go for every time. They gonna go for those combine numbers. They just are. It's hard for coaches to turn their backs on that stuff. It's hard for general managers to turn their back on that stuff when they're doing all their metric stuff and they're like, it's no way he's a can't miss, and he misses.
Right.
And let me tell you something, and that's a great point, because like you said, it's always going to be that premier athlete, the guy that runs that 6.360, the guy that throws 97, the guys that RPMs are like out of this world. You're absolutely right, because he can't miss.
Yep.
But I'll tell you one thing. If you round up the pitchers in the last 5 years, okay, that were drafted in the top 5 round picks, and they were talking about this the other day in baseball tonight, there was a lot of misses. Because you go back, they don't know how to pitch.
Right.
And they don't have the feel of the game. Okay, the game is too fast for them. Okay, just like I guess from college to the NFL. I mean, I don't know about this, of course, but the game is faster.
Yeah, it is.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
You got the best players from college now all of a sudden playing in the NFL. Damn, these guys are fast.
Right.
And it's the same thing in baseball. Okay, it's too fast for these pitchers that only feel the fastball at 95, 90, 100 miles an hour. Now all of a sudden you got bases loaded, winning run at second. The game goes too fast, so now they can't throw that breaking ball. Now they can't throw that changeup. So you miss on those guys, and before you know it, those starters that were highly recruited or highly drafted, now they become setup guys or closers.
Right.
Well, I will tell you this. I will tell you this, Coach Laser, though. I always blame basketball, the NBA, I blame the NFL, and I blame baseball for creating this, because the kids are growing up to do what you show them you want. So if you tell me right now that all they're doing is drafting big arms, guess what I'm training my kid to have?
Sure.
A big arm before anything else.
Absolutely. I have a kid in our baseball workout, so baseball camp. This kid is 12 years old. He's already throwing 75 miles an hour.
Wow.
But you put him in the bullpen, and all he does is throw max effort. He throws
75, baby.
And he looks great with max effort, but he doesn't have a feel. So his dad brought him to me about a week ago to teach him what it is to pitch and have the feel for pitching. This kid is going to make the USA team, the 12 and under USA team. This kid, they fly him all over the United States. They don't have to pay anything. They give him the airfare and all that.
Wow.
Stuff. But these last 2 months, he just came from North Carolina, and that's when his dad called me up. He couldn't throw a strike.
Wow.
Now, he was lighting up the gun. But he couldn't throw a strike. So what happened? If that kid just keeps on doing the same thing, like you're saying, Clue, I'm going to teach my son to throw 100 miles an hour.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, what is that kid going to do later on?
Right.
He doesn't know how to pitch. He's just a thrower.
Right.
Well, it's going to take guys like yourself, Coach, and the MLB to show that those are the guys that they want by picking those guys. But until that happens, you're going to keep seeing the big arms come right through.
I agree.
No doubt. No doubt.
Well, Coach, we sure appreciate it, man. We appreciate having a lot of fun tonight. You got us involved. Now we feel like at least me. I feel like I know 2 or 3 things about baseball now, baby. So we appreciate you coming out, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Have a great day, okay?
All right.
All right.
Care,
you too.
All right. Peace.
Man, MB, that was exciting. Hey, we need to do it like that more often. I don't feel so lost. I can see the direct correlation between all the sports when he was talking.
Exactly. Me too. So,
man, we appreciate y'all coming through, pulling up, hollering at us, because you know us. The sideline, the baseline with MB and K. Lou. We are gone.
Peace.